Hello, I'm Mark.
Hello, I'm Casey,
And
aka
I'm Patrick.
MrSupercharger.com. Sorry.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about some new innovation with Tesla superchargers, where there's a new queue in town. But before we get into that, Casey's going to roll that title card for us.
Pity the fool who will be a queue jumper.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. As mentioned, Tesla's come up with a new innovation that they're testing out in the field with 5 US locations. Remember back when they started with an innovation where they were mapping out the superchargers in a more graphical format. So when you would come up to a supercharger, you could look at the layout of a supercharger site. You could see different stalls that were occupied or unoccupied. You can kind of get a lay of the land before you actually drove into the parking lot and look at maybe what end you're going to get, closest to an available supercharger. Now that, of course, raised some questions from owners about those very busy superchargers that are out there, where you've sometimes would develop lines of vehicles that were waiting to get a charge. Typically in California, a number of locations have experienced that in the Southwest. So Tesla has come up with a new solution that they've actually rolled out to 5 locations to test. And this is the creation of a virtual queue of vehicles for supercharging that is available to be seen on your screen. So this pilot includes sites in Los Gatos, California, Mountain View, California, San Francisco, California, San Jose, California, and the outlier, Bronx, New York. So you can tell, obviously, again, and I've experienced this myself, I think the two of you have as well, when it comes to California, it's a different world when it comes to lineups and number of vehicles, Tesla vehicles that are looking for supercharge. There seems to be, they're a lot more busy. The superchargers are larger, and there's more vehicles looking for a charge at all different points of the day. So Tesla has taken this information and they're looking at how do we prevent fistfights from breaking out at the superchargers and giving us some bad PR. They want to figure out a way that when you arrive at a supercharger, that the vehicle can denote to you where you are in line and what supercharger is going to be coming available next that you will be heading to. Casey's kind of sharing this video online of showing a vehicle approaching a supercharger site. And it's letting you know about some information right on the screen about timing
cool.
as you start to arrive. So in this particular case, it's showing there are 2 cars ahead of this person, and they probably have an area of about a little bit less than 5 minutes of waiting time once they arrive in the parking lot and sit inside their queued space.
That's pretty handy info.
Yeah. So outside of just knowing that you've got 2 cars ahead of you, I'm sure this will be refined as time goes along, but it will be interesting to see how accurate the information is, and if the car is actually performing on screen some sort of a countdown. I'm sure that the 2 ahead of you would change to 1 ahead of you if a vehicle moved out of the spot. Casey, you've got audio problems. We're not hearing you.
Oh, please proceed to stall 2B. I muted myself because I wasn't sure if they had music on that.
Right. Yeah, this is nice because it is a problem at some of the busier spots. When the first V4 opened here in Wilsonville, there was a lot of activity there. I think a lot of people like me wanted to try out the new V4 supercharger. And so when I got there, there was a little bit of a wait. And I didn't want to block all the cars, so I pulled into a parking spot. And then a car left, and I was next. And so I was going to go for that, but somebody who just pulled in thought they could take it. And I was like, oh, no. I've been waiting here. And I made sure to get in front of them. And my wife was like, oh, my God, they're going to hit us. And I'm like, it's a parking lot. They're going to stop. And they did, and it was fine. But
so that was you in that YouTube video swinging fists out in the parking lot.
It could have come to fisticuffs, man. You don't just roll in and think you can take it. No, that's not how this works.
We've seen that happen.
The first time that this happened to me, it was in California. I was in LA, and I pulled up. They were all full, but there was nobody waiting, and so I was waiting. And where I was waiting, I was blocking traffic, and so a parking spot, a normal parking spot, opened up. So I pulled in there while I was waiting, and then somebody else came and they blocked me in it, and because they were waiting where I was previously waiting, and I was about to get out and tell them, "Hey, I'm waiting and I need to get out," and then someone left and they pulled into that spot, and so they ended up cutting me off, and I didn't bother to. I don't think it was malicious on their part. I think it was just opportunistic.
Yeah.
And so I pulled back out, and this time I was like, fine, I'm gonna be out here where it's obvious that I'm waiting. And if someone does need to get around me, I'll move for them. And then another spot opened, and it didn't really matter. It was only 2 minutes, and I didn't have to be a jerk about it, like I was at Wilsonville. I was totally not going to let that guy cut in front of me. But yeah, this is all to say that at busy spots, having this information is helpful, letting you know that there are cars ahead of you, so that I think if those other cars would have had that information, they wouldn't have just pulled in and parked, right? They would have said, oh, there's 2 people waiting, and they might have noticed me because they saw that they would have known that there was 1 or 2 cars waiting. So, yeah. And the other, I don't know how this is going to work with non-Teslas, because a lot of the spots now... Go ahead, Casey. The app, right. Everybody has to use the same app regardless of which vehicle you're in. It's just not going to be as obvious as it is if it's right there on your screen, part of your nav, and all that stuff.
I wonder if you're going to have your passenger pull it up and have the app ready, so that way, if you already knew that it was going to be contentious, that you get your spot in line instead of having to get there and then you're at the back of the line when you could have been as you were parking.
Right. Yes. Yeah. How you get into the queue, like with Tesla vehicles, they can do all that automatically. But with the non-Tesla vehicle, you might have to have some assistance from a passenger. Good point.
But you could definitely have the app being updated with like an alert, let you know, hey, your position now is 3rd in line. Your position now is 2nd in line. So you could be getting alerts through the phone's ability to alert you. But you're right, it's not as seamless for sure.
Right. Yeah. Would the app be smart enough to put you in line? Or does it just think, oh, if there's a supercharger at this Target, maybe you're just going to Target? I don't know if you want to charge or not. I don't know how much charge is in your vehicle, because...
Right. Well, it could be that...
You wouldn't open the charging app otherwise.
Yeah, like it could be that with the app, if you're not in a Tesla vehicle, is you have to indicate that I'm starting a charge. Maybe when you're in proximity of a Tesla supercharger, maybe now it prompts you with, will you be charging? Question mark.
Right. Yes.
Oh, now you're now 3 of 5 or whatever.
Yeah, you could hit yes, and then that's not a distraction. Or
right, but you don't want the drivers to have to play with an app while they're driving, right?
Right. No. But that could be locked to proximity to the charger. Not that you're out on the highway and exiting. Mm-hmm. It's once you're in the parking lot or something.
Yeah, like they reserve you a spot, and if you don't answer yes within 5 minutes,
that's a good way to do it. Just assume if you're going there, you probably want a spot. Give you that spot, and then if you, after you've stopped, if you don't acknowledge you wanted it, then they'll remove you from the queue.
Spot to somebody else.
Yeah, that's good. And this is exactly why you do a pilot, right? You figure out all these little gaps, and you figure out solutions for them. And there's some problems like this they can foresee, and then there's others. I mean, there's a reason that Bronx is in their test, right? That's a very different culture. They're going to learn things there they won't learn in California.
They probably should add Charleston in there, but or at least the Mellow Mushroom Charleston, not any of the others.
They should hire MrSupercharger.com as a consultant. That's what I think they should do.
There you go. The non-Teslas, it does take into account how many spaces they take up. So you don't have to worry about it saying that you're 3rd in line and and it's these two stalls open up, and then say, "Oh, you missed your spot." No, they know it was the Mach-E or a Ford Lightning that hauled up in there, left side.
Yeah, that's definitely a complication, because there's somebody who's going to, if they're trying to get two spots for a car that charges on the wrong side, there's somebody who's going to pull into that spot and try charging.
Yeah.
And how do they deal with that? Like, okay, if the app intended for vehicle X to go there, but vehicle Y pulls in, are they going to, maybe X and Y were not the right letters to use for this example, but A and B, maybe. But if the wrong vehicle pulls in there, or a vehicle that was not next in the queue or not intended for that spot, are they going to tell it, no, you can't charge and you better move? Or are they going to let it charge?
And they should.
Those
are all iterations they're going to be learning, right?
Exactly.
Like when you think about a Bolt pulling up, trying to charge, typically they can't charge in the same or the proper lane designation, right? They're off to the left or to the right, or they're behind it, or whatever works for them. And it becomes a question of do people know that, oh, the Bolt went behind, he's plugged into the charger, but now the spot is open up front, so it appears to people that are coming in that, oh, there's an open spot, when really chargers are already being used.
Yeah, if they say go to spot 2B or any of these spots, 2B, 3C, 8 Delta, that would be a good user interface. My supercharger queuing and queue jumping. Remember, guys, at Elizabeth, New Jersey during Thanksgiving, they had the V3. It was a V3, not V3 Plus. It had a cabinet out, and I ended up queue jumping because they were arguing over whose turn it was, and I looked like the guy who was there, and my car looked like the car that was there, but a little bigger, and I just rolled in and finished before they figured out what happened.
Did you get out of the car and say, "Do you know who you're dealing with?"
I did not.
Mr. Supercharger is here.
Oh man.
Main character syndrome.
It looked like they'd figured it out by the time I was done charging. So
we were on our way. Funny stuff. Yeah. Well, this is going to be fun to see. Again, only 5 chargers in the pilot currently. 4 in California, 1 in New York City. It will be interesting to see the videos that start to come from this, because I'm sure there's going to be some people letting us know how it's actually working, this virtual queue. But again, another innovation in the supercharging front, and look forward to see how this actually works out. Again, in my area of the country, I would say 99.9% of the time, supercharging is not an issue when it comes to population at a supercharger. I just do not run into it. I don't use superchargers a lot, but when I do use them, I'm not running into this issue. In California, maybe New York City, it's a different issue. It's something that definitely affects that population, whereas in the rest of the North America, it's not really affecting us. So it's something that may not be required for all, but definitely there is a case for it.
I'd still like to see them tell you this is optimal. Like, they know the supercharger that's not hot, or the one that has just finished cooling down, or on the V2s who's got the split. Just say, here are the optimal spaces. Please go there, and call it a day. I'm not going to the Bronx to find out. So
giving you that information, it will help you get charged and get out of there faster, which is better for them.
Yeah, and they can also
prevent queues. Yeah,
demand shape and everything. Because if one is slow, use that one last. But I'm not going to the Bronx to find out. So I look forward to whoever makes the first video. I'm definitely not going to California to do it. And if they let me nominate some, I'll if they let me nominate some, I'll pick a couple and I'll camp them out for when I see the less than 5 minutes remaining. I'll hop over there.
Yeah, if you get a queue in this pilot within 100 miles, you've got to go.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know how it works. With that said, I think we'll move to some shout outs. Patrick, what do you got for us today?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels.
Very good. Casey?
Catch us on Wednesday live at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Exactly. And we look forward to getting together with you and finding out what's happening in the Tesla life next time. Thanks everyone for watching. Give us a thumbs up, press that subscribe. Would really help us out. We would appreciate it. Fireworks.
Yeah.